Well, good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. Back in the studio after being gone last week. Forgive me as I pick some Mike Avery Hunter Sticks from Michigan brand out of my teeth. I just opened up the bag before I started this, which is always a mistake. But man, I love these things. These are excellent. So, how are you? Nice to be back here in the studio, although it was a lot of fun to be gone last week. Let me check this out. Okay, now we're getting some numbers here. Made me think maybe I had something set up wrong because I am using a little bit of a different setup this week. So there we go. Johnny Bowler, good morning, buddy. How are you? Thank you for putting me on a my first Michigan Bear a week ago today. It was a lot of fun, Johnny. I appreciate it. You are truly the Bear Whisperer. Cliff, good morning. Always a pleasure. Nice to have you along with us. Ross, awesome song and awesome video. Thank you, Ross. I'll talk a little bit more about that. Bill Hoffman did a wonderful job with that. I call him the most interesting man in Michigan. He wears a lot of hats. Craig, my friend, how are you? Jerry, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining me on this edition of Behind the Mic. Let me respond to a text here. Dennis, good morning. He says, congrats on the bear. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hello, Corey. How are you? I'll talk more about Uncle Johnny. Nice to have you along with us, buddy. How was your golf game Monday? Man, I wanted to play golf so bad on Monday. Just couldn't do it. Hey, Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters up in White River, Ontario. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ron, that was my first bear with a gun. And though it was an interesting experience and it certainly put that bear down fast, I think my true love for bear hunting is with a bow, up close and personal. And next thing, I won't be able to hunt with Johnny for a couple of years. Next time I go up, I might go back to a bow. And then, Ron, with you next year, I will certainly have a bow in my hand. Johnny says, yeah, a 4-bear night at the start of the third hunt was a great feeling. That's a big accomplishment. That third season is not easy. And Johnny put, am I a new grandpa yet? Yep. That's why I could only do a 1-day hunt. I knew I had 1 day. The season started on Wednesday. So obviously I hunted Wednesday. My daughter, Shelby, and her husband, Aditya, had their baby Friday morning at 7:30. So Thursday was a travel day for me. I had 1 day to hunt. Got it done. Thank you, Johnny Bowler. I do too, Elliot, but we will never get a spring bear hunt here in Michigan. I just don't believe it. Ross, 2 friends of mine, Ross and Ron St. Louis. Bruce, good morning. Brad, it is a beautiful morning. Paul says, congrats on that bear. You know, the interesting thing about that bear is not so much the hunt, because the hunt was wonderful. And I was really impressed on what that 350 Legend did to that animal. I mean, it was a quartering away shot. I hit him behind the shoulder, rolled him. He rolled down the hill and he died. No pressure on you, Johnny. The pressure was all on me. This is interesting, though, and I got Johnny Bowler and both Ron St. Louis on here, who are both very well known and respected bear outfitters. I've always said this: whether it's a charter captain or a fishing guide, when a client is successful, really, it's the success of the fishing guide or the hunting guide that made it happen. And in this case, yes, I made a good shot, but all I had to do was sit there for a while, be quiet, and make a good shot. Johnny Bowler is the guy who did all the work. Same thing with up north in White River, Ontario. It's Ron St. Louis and his boys and his friends who do all the baiting ahead of time to get things ready. Speaking of baiting, I'm getting ahead of myself here, but man, the video I posted of my shot got more than 1 million views on Facebook alone. 9,000 likes, 200 shares, 700 comments. And here's where it gets interesting. People came out of the woodwork to comment on this bear hunt, including a comment like this. TJ Fulcher, I'll call him Fulker. He says, baiting animals and hunting them from a blind is like sitting on the couch and claiming you're a football player. He says, hump an elk 15 miles through the mountains or stalk a mountain lion, and then you can talk. Ron Steclosa said, there's no reason to bait. Real hunters stalk and finish it. You all that bait are, and I can't even tell you what he said. He said, baiting isn't hunting. TikTok removed the video for violating community standards. Then it was just me sitting over the bear, getting ready to tag the bear. Facebook eventually hid the video because of sensitive comment, and YouTube actually pulled my behind the mic segment a week ago right now because I showed a gun in a case in the back of my truck, and YouTube pulled it. So this is the type of thing we're up against. People, society in general, hate us. They think we are evil, vile, bloodthirsty killers. Now, here in Michigan, the northern part of the state, not so much, but the overall population of this country today, they can't stand us. And they listen, based on the comments I got on my Facebook page, people saying, Avery, you should die. I would like to kill you instead of you killing the bear. This is the kind of stuff we're up against. It's absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. Will I be using my new song as a lead-in for tonight's Wednesday Night Live? I'm going to play around with it. Come on and say hi, Art. It wouldn't be a behind the mic without Art Lewis coming in to say hi. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. You know him. The man, the myth, the legend.
Congratulations on a successful hunt and a new grandbaby,
Yeah.
Grandpa.
It was a pretty good week.
Yeah,
pretty good week.
It was a very good week.
A one-day hunt, got it done, came home, and my grandson was born.
Excellent.
It was a good week.
Excellent.
How you doing, Art?
I'm doing well.
Where can we hear you, Art?
You can hear me on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
And you should listen to Art religiously every day.
Which is why I'm going to leave now and go to work.
Yeah, just like I'm working right now, Art. You're not gonna convince me of that. Good morning, Mad Jack. How are you, buddy? Dave, Joel, Tim, George, Justin, Tom. See, this is Johnny said. These people, and listen, I expect the comments from the anti-hunters because they hate us. They absolutely hate us, and they hate what we do. What bothers me are the comments from so-called fellow hunters. Again, no reason to bait. Real hunters stalk and finish the hunt. You all that bait are really bad word. Baiting isn't hunting. Baiting animals and hunting them from a blind is like sitting on the couch and claiming you're a football player. Those are the comments that get to me. Are we all in this together or not? Are we all hunters? Or are we divided into factions that are determined to eliminate every other way of hunting other than what we do? Thank you, Hunter Joe. I do post to X. Tommy, good morning. How are you? Jim, nice to have you along with us. Hello, Laurel. Laurel says, congrats on the new grandbaby. Thank you. It was a pretty good week. We call him Bean. Little Bean, and he's beautiful. Morning, Scott. Thank you, Tim. In the Indian culture, my daughter is married to Aditya, a great, wonderful grandson. He is Indian, and in that culture, they don't officially announce the name of the baby for 28 days. But that doesn't matter to me because I have given each one of my grandkids, and this is my 5th grandkid, I have given them a nickname that sticks with them for life. And this baby's name is Bean, and I will call him Bean as long as I'm here. Little Bean. Jim got his meat back, had a few brats made by Michigan Brand. They were awesome. Thank you. Michael, good morning. Paul, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Oh, Laurel. Laurel's brother is Kyle Green of Greenway Outdoors. I just Laurel, last night I got my tickets for the Greenway Outdoors event coming up next Saturday. So I would imagine you will be there. If you see me, come up and say hi. I'd love to say hi to you. Captain Doug Ward, congrats on the Bears. So exciting. Heading to follow up Dr. Sleep Apnea Inspired Implant last. Oh, Inspire. Let me know how that goes. That implant's very interesting. No, you're not the only one with sleep apnea. Tim says, so let's sneak up on a bear in the woods to shoot it. Great idea. All right, Johnny. So the interesting thing is, if we want to control the bear population here in Michigan, there are two ways to do it. You can bait bears, which is the most popular or common, or you can run them with hounds, which is also a very common a way to hunt bears. The concept of spot and stalk here in Michigan or in Ontario, White River, Ontario, is it would be very tough because of the terrain. I'm sure people could do it, and if you've done it, God bless you. But if you haven't, don't criticize the people who are legally bear hunting over bait or legally bear hunting with hounds. Drives me bonkers. You're right. No way to stalk a bear. They are very good. Brian, good morning. And what is Jonathan eating right here? He's eating these Mike Avery Hunter Sticks from Michigan Brand Meats. Nick Grillo is on the show with me this week. Some exciting things going on at Michigan Brand. Thank you. Kathy, good morning. James. Do what we can. Do the goal of the DNR. James, good morning. Oh, excellent, Laurel. Excellent. Jamie, good morning. Oh, Tommy calls their daughter Bean. She was only 6 pounds, 12 ounces. So she got nicknamed Bean. Our Bean was smaller than that, but he's healthy. Praise God. Dale, congrats on the bear. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. So it was a really cool week. I got my bear in the only day I had to hunt. I had to hurry up and get home because my daughter Shelby and her husband Aditya were having a new baby, their first, my 5th grandchild, a grandson. He is beautiful and healthy, and we are very blessed. Okay, so it is Rocktober. Anyway, welcome to the month of Rocktober. Bow season is open. I have not been out yet. I hope to hunt tomorrow night. It took me 4 seasons of hunting to get a Michigan bear. Now, I have harvested, I don't know, 15 or 16 bears, all of them up in Canada. I've taken bears in Manitoba. I've bear hunted in Alberta, Manitoba, Quebec, and Ontario. I have taken bears in every one of those provinces except for Alberta, but I've never taken a Michigan bear. My first season hunting with Gary Morgan of Wild Game Dynasty, he put a bear in front of me 45 minutes into the first day of the hunt. I loved the bear hunt so much, I wasn't about to wait 9 years for a tag and then let my hunt be over in 45 minutes. So I let that bear walk. I was hunting with a crossbow on that hunt. I never saw another bear. My second season was bear hunting with Johnny Bowler, the bear whisperer. I was hunting with a recurve. Johnny put a bear in front of me at 7 yards, but because I was hunting with a recurve, I couldn't get a shot. That was season number 2. Season number 3, I hunted with Johnny. We never saw a bear. This year, I went back with Johnny, and I got my bear. And Tim Binns is saying, how big? He was, we didn't put him on a scale. I'm saying he was roughly 200 pounds, a very good, solid, respectable Michigan bear. I had told Johnny, I knew I had 1 day to hunt. I jokingly told Johnny, the first bear that comes out that doesn't have milk on his mouth, I'm going to shoot it, meaning I wasn't going to be particular. Fortunately, a decent, respectable, nice sized bear came out. Now, I've killed bears a lot bigger. I've killed them 350 pounds up in Ontario, but I was very happy to take this 200-pound bear. The Brenton 350 Legend did the job. I was very impressed. It felt weird to be sitting in a blind 70 yards away from the bait with a gun in my hands. I am more accustomed to sitting 10 yards away with a bow in my hands. But it did the job. If the goal of being a hunter is a quick, clean, humane killing shot, then that 350 Legend made a very quick, clean, humane killing shot. Thank you, Scott. Sure can. Good morning. Estimate number of bears in the UP. I can't pull that name up, that number up right at in the top of my head, Marty. So things I have to get done now. Thank you, Brian. Bow hunting. I got to get out bow hunting. I want to kill a nice big Michigan doe. I'm not buck hunting. The property that we hunt on, the property that we lease, the only bucks out there are 1.5-year-old bucks. And if you want to kill a 1.5-year-old, and I mean this sincerely, if you want to shoot a 1.5-year-old buck, God bless you. Enjoy it, have fun, and do it. At this point, I'm looking for a nice big doe. So that's what I'm going to be hunting. No, it is. Listen, that's a very solid, respectable bear. There's nothing wrong with that bear at all. Was he a monster? No. Was he a small bear? No. He was a good, solid, decent-sized bear. I'm very happy with him. And he was a boar. I say he was because he's now being made into brats and burger. Okay, so I got to do bow hunting, and I got to pull the angler quest. Listen, I haven't been on that thing in months. I could have pulled it 2 months ago. I need to get it over to Linwood Beach. Doug Ward saw something. Speaking of packages of the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks, peppered. They were fantastic. Need a big boy barley pop with them, though. Love those peppered sticks. You do. Now, John's a little too young, and he's not much of a drinker, and he's not going to drink at work. But if we were anywhere else, he would be drinking a beer with these things because they're very good. I also have in my hands the Cherry Maple Hunter Sticks from Michigan brand. Speaking of Michigan brand, let's talk about who's on the Outdoor Magazine radio show this week. Oh, and a special 3 minutes. A special shout out to Dave from West Bloomfield. Dave listens to the podcast version of the show. I don't know if Dave tunes in to my live streams, but Dave from West Bloomfield, if you are watching and listening, I want to wish you nothing but luck on your adventures this fall out in Mother Nature. Again, when you're out there in Mother Nature enjoying God's creation, I hope you are extremely lucky and you can enjoy Mother Nature. So good luck to you, Dave from West Branch. Coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show, Captain Jeff Godey of the Michigan Experience talks about waterfowl hunting. This is not a topic I often discuss because I don't know anything about it, but Jeff Godey does, so we'll get him on to talk about that. Then, the most interesting man in Michigan, Bill Hoffman. Bill Hoffman wrote a song. I didn't ask him to do this. Bill Hoffman wrote a song about me. And it was actually pretty cool. And it was a morning where things weren't going so well. And to have him text me that song, it was like, wow, thank you. That's really cool. That's a wonderful blessing. Thank you. So, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. I was feeling pretty special because Bill Hoffman wrote a song about me. And then I realized he wrote songs. And then he told me he wrote songs about a bunch of people. So, okay, so maybe not so special. He said I was the first one he wrote. So that accounts for something. So, and then I enjoyed this song and it resonated with me and I liked it. And then I thought, you know what? I think I might put some video over this song. Now, I went back and forth on this. It's like, that could well come across as being very egotistical, that I would take video and put it over the song. And I went back and forth, and I thought, I've got all this cool video that illustrates what the song is saying. And then the ultimate thought occurred to me. Look at Avery, you're not being egotistical. You're helping out your family because what you're doing is you're making your funeral video ahead of time. So when I die, my family won't have to come up with a video. I have already produced it. That's why I did it right there. Okay. How much time do you say, John?
40 seconds.
About 40 seconds. Yeah, I did come out of Andy's upright. That was a nice treat. Okay. All right, in just a minute here, I'm going to finish picking the Mike Avery Hunter sticks out of my teeth, take a slug of coffee here, and get ready to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. Feel free to stick around as we record this. I never told you who's on the show. Jeff Godey, Bill Hoffman, Mike Horswell of J Sporting Goods, Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats, and the Whitetail Whisperer, John Eberhart, and of course, Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire, Dixie Dave Miner. And he's going to have a bear recipe in honor of my first Michigan bear. Blast off. All right, my friends, it's a beautiful day out there. It's a little chilly. I talked to my grandson. Again, I give my grandkids nicknames. T-Man. His name is Trent, but I call him T-Man. I've called him that forever. He's hunting this morning. He said he almost got a shot on a big doe. What a beautiful day to be out there. Congrats to my daughter, Shelby, my son-in-law, Aditya, on the birth of their beautiful baby. We waited a long time for him, and he's absolutely perfect. Thank you, Jesus. All right, my friends, I'm going to go to work. I know you can't call it work. I really can't call it work either. Have a great day. See you tonight, 7 o'clock, Wednesday Night Live. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across the great state of Michigan. And so glad to have you along with us as we welcome the month of Rocktober. Rocktober, arguably the best time of the year if you love the outdoors. Why do I say that? Because of the great fall fishing, because bow season is open now, small game season's open now, waterfowl season's opening up, bear season wrapping up. Oh, it's just a great time of year. As I got up this morning, it was 44 degrees outside. No, it wasn't. Obviously, it wasn't 44 inside. I didn't need to say outside. It was 44 degrees. Beautiful sunrise. It just felt wonderful. I got a text from my grandson, T-Man. He said, oh, man, he said, I almost got a shot on a big doe. So that made it an even better morning. So it is Rocktober. How is your week? What has happened to you in your world in the last week since we've talked? Well, I've had, I don't know, kind of an interesting week. In some ways, kind of a special week. I was bear hunting with Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer, up in the UP, trying to get my first Michigan black bear. This was my fourth season of bear hunting in Michigan to try to get my first bear. Now, I've taken quite a few bears all across Canada. I have hunted Alberta, Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec for bears. And I've taken bears in every one of those provinces except for Alberta. And I was trying to add them up. I don't know. I've taken like 15 or 16 bears, something roughly over the years, but never taken one in Michigan. So my goal this year, really, it was I really wanted to take a bear. I decided to use a gun on this hunt, my Brenton 350 Legend. I've never taken a bear with a gun. All of them have been bow kills, either recurve, compound, or crossbow. I'm not sure why I wanted to. It just seemed appropriate in some ways to take my first Michigan bear with a Michigan-made gun. Plus, I was curious. I wanted to see what a gun would do to a bear. I know what an arrow will do to a bear. A well-placed arrow will put a bear down in just a very, very short distance. And I've been pretty fortunate. Most of my hits on bears have been very good, and I either watched them go down or heard them go down. There was one hunt in Ontario where I hit a bear back too far, and we had to trail him. Fortunately, we did recover him, but I think of a bow as a very, very effective tool. So I'm hunting with Johnny, and I've only got one day to hunt. More on that in a little bit, but I've got one day to hunt. I've got to get back downstate. So I didn't realize how much pressure Johnny Bowler was feeling. He really wanted me to get a bear, and he knew I had a limited time to do that. So I'm set up about 70 yards from the bait, which was unusual. I mean, I'm not used to sitting that far away from the bait with my 350 Legend. And I've already decided that I'm not going to be picky. Now, I'm not going to shoot a cub, but I'm not going to hold out for a really big bear. So I get out there at noon for a long sit because, again, I've got one day. 7 o'clock, a bear sneaks in from straight away from me. And I look at him and I think, okay, yeah, he's a good bear. He's not a big bear. He's not a small bear. He's a good, solid bear. Definitely, I will shoot him if he gives me the shot. So he comes into the bait. He circled around the bait. He turned sideways. He quartered away, looked over his shoulder, and I said, "Oh man, this is too good to pass up." So I settled the crosshair on the scope behind his shoulder. I squeezed the trigger. Boom, the gun goes off. And by the way, this is the first time I've ever hunted with a suppressor on that gun, too. And I was actually quite surprised how loud it still was. Hit the bear. He somersaulted forward. He rolled down the hill and he died 12 yards from the bait. And then I got to hear, and this is you have to be a bear hunter to understand this, but then I got to hear the death moan, which is very rewarding because you know you've got an animal out there that's waiting for you that you made a quick, clean, humane killing shot on. So it was pretty cool. And I really enjoyed it. And we didn't put him on a scale, but he's about 200 pounds. Again, a very good, solid, nice, respectable Michigan black bear, and he's going to taste great. What really got my attention on this hunt was the reaction to my hunt. Now, the Wednesday before my season, the Wednesday that my season started, I did a behind the mic segment from the field. That is a live stream that I do every Wednesday morning. It goes to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. As part of the live stream, I'm talking about my upcoming hunt, and in the back of my truck, my gun is laying there in the case, unloaded, and the case is open, and you can see my gun. The minute YouTube saw that gun, it quit. It deleted my feed. They did it because I said it violated their standards. I checked their standards. There's nothing in YouTube that says you can't show a gun in a case. So then, after the fact, I post a picture of my bear, me sitting over my bear, smiling. Got a lot of good response. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And then I also posted the video of the shot because I had a camera running, because that's kind of what I do, or at least kind of what I certainly used to do. And I posted that. That video got over 1 million views, 9,000 likes. Now, back up. When I posted this, I said, here's video of the shot. Warning, this is graphic. If you will be offended, don't watch. 1 million views, 9,000 likes, 200 shares, 700 comments. Most of those comments were people saying, hey, man, nice job. Congrats. You really, a good shot. And then there's the overwhelming response from the hardcore anti-hunters, which I expect. I mean, really vile, crude, mean, threatening comments. You should have been the one who died instead of that bear. If I ever get a chance, I'll kill you for killing that bear. I mean, and that's just the beginning of it. I mean, it goes on and it's very disturbing. But I expect those. That's par for the course. But what bothers me were the large number of comments from people who say they're fellow hunters, like TJ Fulcher. TJ says baiting animals and hunting them from a blind is like sitting on the couch and claiming you're a football player. Hump an elk 15 miles through the mountains or stalk a mountain lion, then you can call yourself a hunter. Ron Staclosa says there's no reason to bait. Real hunters stalk and finish the hunt. You all that bait are, and he used a really bad word that I can't use here now. He says baiting isn't hunting. TikTok removed video of me just sitting over the bear talking about it and notching my tag. They said it violated their standards. Facebook eventually hid that video because of sensitive content. They said sensitive content. It just pointed out to me, and again, the vast majority of comments on this were positive, but this points out to me how we are, and I'm going to use a very strong term here. We are in some ways at war. Those of us who love to hunt, we're in a battle right now. We are in a battle to protect and maintain our way of life, because there are certainly those out there who hate us. They hate us, and they've told me they just soon see me dead because we hunt. And then there's the folks who say they're hunters, but they criticize other hunters for legal ways to hunt because they're not ways that they agree with. We got to get past that. Got to get past that. I told you I had one day to hunt because I had to get back downstate. Because the next day or a day later, my daughter Shelby and her husband Aditya had a baby. We knew it was coming. That's why I could only have a one-day hunt. I had to get home for the new baby, the new grandbaby. And he's beautiful and he's perfect. And we are so blessed. Thank you, Lord. And congrats, Shelb and Aditya and little Bean. That's what I call him, Bean. That's what we all call him for now, Bean. Coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show after the break, Captain Jeff Godey talks about waterfowl hunting. Then the most interesting man in Michigan, Bill Hoffman, he actually wrote a song about me. Now, I thought I was really kind of special. I didn't ask him to do it, but I was thinking, man, I must be really special. And then I heard the rest of the details. Anyway, hour number 2, Mike Horswell of Jay Sporting Goods on processing your own venison, plus Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats. And in our third hour, the whitetail whisperer, John Eberhardt, plus wild game chef extraordinaire, Dixie Dave Miner. My name is Mike Avery. This show is called Outdoor Magazine. My website is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. My email address is Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Have a great day. I'm not going to let... Okay, I'm going to use a word here that I think I can use. We're not on air. No, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to let the idiots ruin my day because I got too much to be thankful for. Have a good day, my friends. We will see you tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live, when I just might try to work in the video as part of the open of our Wednesday Night Lives. Have a good day, my friends.
Hi, this is Jonathan with Mike Avery's radio show.